It's Thursday. You know, the new Nothing Personal means that we will have a guest every Tuesday, every Thursday. I was going to make it a surprise that we had Pablo Torre, but he's too big now to be a surprise, and he fit us into his schedule. Pablo, welcome to Nothing Personal. We are getting him on the show currently. Remember, this is a brand new situation with a light staff, Pablo. We don't have the ability when we're live.
I was okay. You already are insulting me. I was congratulating you, trying to break through the tech support issues to say congratulations, David Samson, on getting twice as much real estate. It's well deserved, and also apologize for making fun of my staff.
Well, I love your staff. As a matter of fact, I have given such great props to Patrick, who redesigned everything we do. So we have a new look here. I
It
know
looks
you
great.
you
Looks great.
focus. Well, you've watched the intro, I know, because you watch every day. I actually do like watching Pablo Torre Finds Out. I must admit that I watch the shows that I'm in of yours to see how you edit it. And I watch the ones otherwise that interest me that are topical. And so it seems to me that the way you've done Pablo Torre Finds Out, all of the awards it's won. So congrats. You were just in LA for the Peabody dinner. Tell me about that. Are you like in the room where it happens? Did you wear a tux?
I did not wear a tux. I did wear a suit. It's cocktail attire. What does cocktail attire mean to you?
Note it means no suit and tie optional.
So I went suit with a black polo shirt.
That's cocktail
because
attire.
because I abide by the rules. But there were people wearing tuxedos. Lauren Michaels was there with like the cast of SNL. They were being honored. Various dignitaries and like very serious people were there. It was look the people. I shouldn't bury the lead here, right? So I was in LA. I went to the Peabody Awards. It was a real honor. I also was beefing with Bill Simmons, and so most of that night at the awards show, I was also like refreshing my phone, figuring out how do I respond to Bill, and I ended up podcasting with Bill. And now I'm gun shy because I've talked about this stupid award ceremony so much on his show and now here that I just feel like I am I'm a bit on the nose as the caricature of myself. Like, let me talk about all of these awards that I got nominated for. I didn't even win the Peabody, by the way. So thank you
It's
for
just an
asking.
honor to be nominated.
No,
No,
legitimately,
it's
it's
not.
it's okay. Um,
You
I was actually
lost.
I was actually gonna go with yes, it is. Because it's just one of those awards where there is no lobbying. There's no every you know this, David. I mean, you did the lobbying actually for the equivalent, right? Like you have the backroom schmoozing, you have the awards budget, and you've made fun of course, the PTFO awards budget at Meadowlark Media, the line item, which is a real amount of money that we set aside every year to apply. This one, there's none of that. There's a nominal fee maybe to submit, but in terms of like, hey, can you meet this person and win over these jurors and all that? Like, they're just so flagrantly anti that in their nerdery that it's incredibly, yeah, I find it authentic to actually be recognized, if not win. And so I just like the idea of you, by the way, being the schmoozer. Now that I think about it, like, who are you schmoozing on behalf of as awards luster after?
Well, it actually shines brightly on Meadowlark. What you're doing, it makes Meadowlark and Dan Lebitard look good, and that show has a habit of really yucking on everybody's yum as content and as bit. But for me, when you have a company that you're running or that you founded, you want to stand up shows that are successful. And I get that Dan's audience wants to, be part of a joke or in on a joke or have everybody say, oh, I don't like that as a standard because the reason why people want to be nominated and win awards, it's a reflection not just of the work you do, but the people with whom you do it. And that's why when people are giving thank yous, they're often and always thanking the people. Have you ever noticed that movie stars, when they win Oscars, this is the greatest cast and crew I've ever worked with? They speak in that hyperbole until the next time they're nominated, and that becomes the greatest cast and crew they've ever worked with. You do it for a reason because it gives those people that moment, that feeling of camaraderie that you have with your staff that I have with Coca. Like me and Coca are sitting there next to each other saying, hey, I like you. Hey, I like you too. Anyone else out there? Hey, Jack, you want to join? But for you, Pablo, your group gets the benefit of all of the aura that you provide with these awards. And I think it's smart.
Look, man, in a sincere way, I try to transcend external validation, and already you can laugh at me for even pretending that I could ever achieve it. But I aspire to transcend it, but know in the economics of what we do, it is a game. You know, John Green, who is the guy who wrote The Fault in Our Stars and is a great philanthropist and YouTuber, he was on my show as a guest, and he put it the way that I think is best. Doing anything, making anything online, especially now, is kind of like playing Marco Polo. To your analogy there, you yell Marco, and you want someone out there to yell Polo, and then you just do a call and response for as long as you can, such that you build a relationship. And sometimes you don't hear Polo because everything is scattered and fragmented and siloed, and no one is aware of anything else because we're all trapped in our own personalized algorithms and so forth and so on our phones. So to have someone say Polo back, whether it's a listener, a viewer, or an awards jury or whatever, is necessary economically, but also psychologically, because let's face it, all of us need to know that we're talking to someone out there.
What do you
Um,
do when you yell Marco and you don't hear Polo? In the actual game, you know what happens next?
what?
You switch where you are and then you yell Marco again. Because what you know is it's not user error, it's you're not near the polo. Therefore, you have to get near to the polo and you don't apologize for it. Switch positions, you yell Marco again and wait for the polo. To me, it is the perfect analogy. And I never apologize for, we've talked about this both on Levitard and on your show. Apology for ego, apology for wanting attention and needing attention. Who exactly apologizes for that? That's like a writer apologizing because he or she or they want people to read the book that they publish. Why else do you publish a book except for people to read it? I do this show because I love it, but I love it more when people either hate watch or love watch. It doesn't even matter to me. That I will wear and own to the day they take the microphone away.
Yeah, I imagine that off screen, as you sit in a giant baseball glove, is the outstretched arm of your audience catching you. You would
Every
like your
time.
audience to receive you in the giant glove they are holding, because you're right. Why else? I mean, I do want to shed the pretense of, yeah, like I do enjoy when people listen to me because I really try to be worth listening to. Um, it's anyway. I want to know something about you, David. Do you remember the biggest sort of like stunt awards budget related thing you pulled with the Marlins? Did you do anything creative to like lobby? Did you have a campaign in which you did some like, you sent every baseball writer a personalized something or other?
We paid people to fill out paper ballots.
You just went boss Tweed.
Do you remember back in the day for All Stars, it was ballots. It wasn't online.
Oh yeah,
You
right.
literally had ballots where the way teams would get All Stars and starting All Star players is whoever got voted on the most by the fans. And every ballpark would get sent paper ballots, and the most attended teams would have the advantage. And we didn't have a high attendance in Florida, obviously. And I always wanted starting All Stars because I wanted the attention. I wanted positive attention for our franchise because it made us feel better about ourselves. So what we did is we would bring in pallets of All Star ballots and we would bring people to games for free, then pay them, feed them, and all day long they would be filling out the paper ballots with just the Marlins players.
You created a sweatshop of
Yes,
voters.
we did.
By the way, is there
That's a true
any?
story.
Oh, I believe it and I know it to be true. And I just want to point out that I don't think the word palate is used in a way that is not suspicious.
No,
Oh,
that's not
I
true.
brought home a pallet of groceries today. Yeah, true.
Have you ever heard of Costco? Pallets are a big thing.
Oh,
I'm a
wait,
bulk buyer.
is pallet? Well, of course, but is pallet the unit of measurement at Costco? I'm not a Costco member. I'm from New York City. I'm not familiar with
I'm
these
not either,
things.
but I know that things are in pallets when you go to some stores like water, bottles of water and pallets or
Yeah, but
th-
hold on. Yes, I think technically they are grouped and purchased in bulk, and technically that means pallet. But I'm telling you, pallet as a term is like it's like the Sinaloa cartel and Tony Soprano and you. Like that's their unit of measurement.
I will wear that. But I acknowledge one of the things that happened on our show with Dominique that just came out yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah, on
I,
Tuesday.
I got a lot of calls about that show, and I want to mention it to you.
Please.
People think that when me, you, and Dominique get together, that we had, and this was not just one person, multiple people in my life and people I don't know, that it's all scripted and that you're aware of a story I'm going to tell, and I'm aware of a story you're going to tell, and we have our reactions ready to go. And I couldn't tell whether I was honored by that assessment or insulted by it because it can go either way.
Yeah, that's funny. So the truth of it, what those people can find out by listening to this show we're doing right now, is that I think that was the least prepared, structured, scripted show I've ever done on PTFO. We sat down, we did not know what we were going to talk about. I deliberately asked you for a list of topics. We did none of them. Dominique,
Drew,
Dominique, I told nothing
you didn't ask him
about.
for a list of topics?
No,
Just me?
I know better than that.
Yeah, it's true.
You got to coach the players you have. Like, come on, you're not the same guy. He's not going to give me a list of topics. And also, and I love you for doing it, and I love you even more for not caring, or at least not telling me that you care, that I asked none of them. So that's the pre-show, but the show is us sitting down, and when I tell you that like we made, I think maybe if we made an edit it was because of some tech thing. We rearranged nothing, we edited almost nothing. Pretty much like it's just the least edited episode in the history of my show, which prides itself on again like cleaning up and nipping and tucking because we're trying to structure and tell stories. So it's just the opposite actually, which I'm proud of. And that was I mean, that much I of course I'm also deeply proud of that my show can also be the place where you, me, and Dominique, as we did on Dan's show last summer in this magical summer week that we did together, in which we just riffed live for 4 hours a day. I also pride myself on the fact that that there are combinations that enable that too, on either side of the production spectrum.
How do you figure out how often you can subject your audience to things that are less edited and less sort of PTFO snooty? And I say that in a very positive way. As you're thinking about your cadence, how do you decide when your pipeline and what you're willing to do when?
Yeah, I think the number one thing I've realized is that the audience, to your question, does not know the difference if we do it right. So for me, like I've been gratified that no one has pointed out, like, wow, that felt like a different episode of PTFO. It sounded like you guys just sat down and riffed. No one has said that to me. In fact, according to you, you've gotten feedback that suggests the opposite. That this was
I have.
deeply structured, which is so funny to me. And so part of the, and again, behind the curtain of this, like I worry about how to make these shows in a way that is obsessive. And then perpetually, I'm reminded that the audience doesn't know. And that is because I think we care about the end product being the end product as a function of quality. But the how, yeah, like part of what I want to do more of is, and this is because I enjoy it, because it's easier, because I I think there are upsides that aren't available when you are so structured. I just want to do more going forward of the stuff that you, me, and Dominique did. In fact, I'll use this opportunity to book you. Let's do that again this month. Let's get Dominique back. Let's have you not drive 2.5 hours just to do it. But let's I want to do that, regularly because it was that good.
What I enjoy about that, it's the same thing that I enjoy about Nothing Personal. So this is only 3 days into the new 2 hour format, and you're the second guest we've ever had. We've done sit downs before, you've done them, and that's been a 50-minute conversation. This is now part of a 2 hour show. And what I'm learning is how the mechanics work when you're solo talking into the abyss, and then you interrupt it with being with someone, and then all of a sudden you're back to solo for the last few segments before the end of the show. And I think about how I feel doing Nothing Personal, how I feel doing PTFO versus how I feel doing Dan's show. And what interests me is that my feeling when I'm sitting with you is the great feeling that I am completely protected. And that is something that I don't often admit because people would think I don't need to feel that way and think I have no feelings. When I'm on with Dan, I'm open, I'm naked and afraid because I don't trust or understand exactly what they're going to do, but I'm open to it and I play the character. When I'm on PTFO, which we've done so many episodes together, Sporting Class with Dominique, etc., I just feel differently. And I think that's what makes your show so interesting to so many people is that I feel, which means the audience through me would feel that way. Oh, this ride is going to be safe, but super fun. And Pablo, I'll just tell you the equivalent is when you go to a state fair and there's a roller coaster and you're saying to yourself, there's a chance that I'm going to die on this. But when you go to Six Flags and go to the big roller coaster, you say, this is going to be insane, but I feel safe.
Yeah.
You are Six Flags.
Yeah, Dan Le Batard is the wooden roller coaster. It's like I got some splinters. I think I almost legitimately died. I may regret having done this. But I did live, to Dan's credit. We are both alive. Look, I find it funny, right? I'm trying to explain my show to people, Bill Simmons included, and there is this mixture of, and I fly this freak flag proudly. We do, in fact, pursue adversarial journalism in which people are made uncomfortable by the reporting that we do, and we do not apologize for that. And we are an investigative sports journalism podcast. And at the same time, the people in my life that I've gotten to know, that I have relationships with, the magic secret threading of the needle is they trust me, and that means they say things that they may their friends may think that the story you told about actually pandering to a black church in South Florida to raise public money by you buying a Steve Harvey suit and saying, "Can I get an amen?" They may think that must have been something that you like had blackmail on David and forced him to tell you. And all I can say is that the magic of David Samson and the magic of any relationship in which there is trust is that you realize that if I'm going to say this on the show, it's not going to blow up in my face and ruin a friendship. Like that's the vibe of what I want to create for the people that I personally have relationships with. And so we are multitudes in that way.
It is the vibe that you do create. And I think we just ought to keep going. And I don't know how your career will unravel nor mine, but I just expect that it will continue to unravel together because the beauty of what we do is that to satiate our own egos, to get the attention that we need while doing things that people actually enjoy paying attention to and listening to me, we have found it. We might as well just keep going.
Continuing to unravel together feels like exactly the right legal language on what we're signing up for. Yeah.
Pablo, I appreciate it. We'll do this again and I'll come back on PTFO. It's worth the 2.5 hours.
Let's get Dominique. You can send me some topics and he will send me none.
Always. See you later, Pablo. I really do love him. Not in like a way that's uncomfortable, just in a way that makes me realize that finding someone like Pablo Torre, and we all have our faults, all of us. And we have very deep discussions. We don't agree every time. We work together a lot. But what we have is this dance that we do. And when you find someone you can dance with, and you can find someone who it's okay to dance in front of, you have found someone to love who may, in fact, love you back. Maybe. I'm glad Pablo joined.